This is a Suboptimal podcast. Check out our suboptimal content at suboptimal.co.
All right, everybody, welcome to episode number 14 of 2.5 Weebs. This week we're going to be talking about Rising of the Shield Hero, as well as episode number 2 of Kitsune. I know that there's more words after Kitsune,
no
but
Senko-san.
Comfy knows.
In other words, we're talking about one good anime this week.
Yeah, we're talking about one good anime. Fuck,
I
man.
actually really liked this episode. I thought it was great. I can't wait to watch more of Kitsune. But anyway, let's talk about Rising of the Shield Hero first. So you, Copper, you'd seen this before, right?
Yes, I am completely up to date in the show.
Okay. Comfy.
This is one of the ones I've been going through and watching with the girlfriend.
Isn't first season done?
No.
No? Oh, okay, cool.
This is one of the ones that's probably going to be 24 episodes.
I think they
Okay.
ordered 24 for it.
I think
Okay.
they're on episode 15 right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So-
I know it was a 2-season show.
2-season bit. Okay. So this was the first time you've seen it too, Comfy, right?
Yeah, so I'd heard a lot about this show. It's been all over the place online. Raftalia in particular has been all over the place.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah, I wonder why.
little raccoon girl, man, nobody. Man, who could have seen it come? But I've seen a lot about it online. And it's been on my list as well. Like, it was already in my queue.
Gotcha.
This week before we even started. So it's been something that's like I've been looking at. And then I finally actually watched it this week, and it didn't get me as much as I thought it would, honestly.
Oh.
Mm.
Huh. Okay. Well,
Like-
okay, so go ahead.
Well, so this is actually, and I think it's just because of the way that it started out. Because like, I'm very clearly the target audience for this show.
Oh.
I
Pretty
am,
much, yeah.
like, I mean, not even like, oh, I'm a weeb. No, like demographically, I'm like the target audience for this show, more so than you two. And like the first episode, just because of the way that everything went so south, like I was just watching. I'm like, man, this is fucking depressing. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
like that is
Yeah.
that is very much how I felt with believe it or not, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Because the entire first episode is the main character literally getting his dog kicked and
It's
getting
rough.
beat up by this other guy. Like,
It's rough. Oh, French was watching it. Cool. Or is watching it. Well, yeah.
Yeah, this
episode,
show starts
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of rough for your main character.
the main character gets his fucking teeth kicked in at first. It's gross. Like,
and
so
then he becomes an asshole.
I mean,
Yes,
can
which
you
is
blame the
great.
guy?
Because
Okay,
that would be
so-
the actual response of a person thrown into a situation like this. He's like, fuck you people.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is too, like, initially seeing that and having all of that, like, having him completely disillusioned, I was like, I'm not sure how I like
Yeah.
this. And like, it's growing on me more as it's going along, because he's also not just being an asshole to everybody, he's being an asshole to the people that deserve for him to be an asshole to them.
Right.
Correct.
Which, like, watching it is like, okay, I get it. Yeah, like, he's doing God's work. And which, like, I found it to be more or less enjoyable at the end of the day, and I started actually liking it a lot more.
Yeah. So this show, it starts out as what's his? I can never remember characters' names in animes. I still
Nafume
have.
or something similar to that.
What was it?
Well, I got, I had it, and
I need to start
lost
taking notes. Like, Jesus. Okay, so anyway, it starts where there's this guy, he's just like a teenager in Japan. He's like, I have an average teenager life, and he went to the library, and he opened this
Now
book
for
and started reading about, like, 4 cardinal heroes or some shit.
He
4
opens
legendary
a
heroes,
novel.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
opens
gets...
a book.
And then as he reads the book, he gets teleported into, like, some fantasy world where him and 3 other heroes find out that they're, like, the 4 cardinal heroes. One is a spear hero, one is a sword hero, and one is the bow and arrow hero. And then he himself is a shield hero. And right off the rip, the other 3 are like, we'll only
You're
help
stuck.
you out, whoever the king that they're supposed to protect this realm from like a wave of catastrophes. So initially the other
Waves,
three are
like
like, we'll only do this
cold
if you
waves.
pay us. And then he's like, I'll help. And then they're
I'm
just
just happy
everybody's
to
a
be
dick
here.
to him because he's like the shield hero. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, they don't like so basically when they're all sitting in their essentially hotel room later on, because they gotta have a place to stay. They're heroes. Our good boy Naofumi is like, so what the fuck is going on? I was reading this light novel and suddenly I got transported here. And all the other three guys are apparently from different iterations of Japan.
Yeah, all
Not
four
like
from
not different times, but like different.
different realities. Each one of them is from
Exactly.
a different reality of Japan, which is
Mhm.
interesting because normally when these shows happen, people are all pulled from one world.
Yeah.
This one, it shows that there's a multiple of worlds, not just the two, and they're all from different places.
Yeah. And so all of these people, all these guys are like, yo, so this is exactly like this video game from my time. It's like, no, it's like this video game from my time. And they have this big circle jerk about, no, it's like this game that I've seen and I'm right. And at the end of the day, they realize they just have different realities. And the only person who has no fucking idea is now Fumi, who's the shield hero. And then
He doesn't play video games.
And then Spear Boy, who decides to be the biggest dick of them all, walks up and is like, yeah, believe it or not, the shield hero is the most worthless, just like you dumb fuck.
Basically, yeah.
And everybody else is like, yeah, sorry, kiddo, but you're basically worthless.
Yeah, apparently in all of their games, which is where these guys are basing their knowledge and stuff on, the shield hero, who is basically a tank, is useless.
Yeah. Everybody plays aggro and DPS, and he's playing tank, and everybody is
tank.
like, yo, fuck you for playing tank.
As somebody who
So-
always mained a tank in MMOs, I'm like, fuck you nerds, get fucked. You would die without him, all right? I don't want to hear it. Anyway.
None of them are mean to him to start with. They all sympathize with the fact that he's been stuck with like the weakest class as far as they're concerned because he's got the least amount of offense.
Right.
So they're like, yeah, your class isn't great. You can't deal damage. So it's like, oh. And then they realize they're from different places. And then later in the episode, where he gets accused of sexual assault.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he gets-
Well, because what
he gets
happened
robbed.
is, like, the next day they go to meet up with their party, because for some reason they all have to train separately.
Yes,
So
well,
they go to
they're
have
basically
their
told,
party.
go train separately. Everybody gets their own party. This way they have 4 high-level parties running around, which is better for the realm for protecting stuff. Makes sense, right, from a logistics standpoint.
Sure.
The issue then becomes that nobody wants to partner with the shield hero in this country because he's considered the weakest hero.
Well, not
Can't
only that,
trade
but
party.
also they talked about how rumors spread about how he knows nothing of our world while the other ones do. In hindsight, the rumors were probably started by Spear Dude. I didn't realize that until after the fact. So nobody wanted to join him. So he's sitting there all by himself after the other people have bigger parties. And finally, there's this redheaded chick who's
Cunt.
like,
That's
I
the
will
word.
join you. Yeah. So she goes to join him, and they go off on their adventure, and they like spend the first day, they kill some shit. He gets some experience because she kills stuff. And then they go back to town the next day, and then overnight she basically rips him off, as well as the spear hero, and like makes up the story about how he like tried to rape her and shit, and then they steal all his shit. He gets screwed over. The next day he gets woken up by the king's guard, who take him to the king, and they're like, we'd execute you, but we kind of need you because you're one of the shield heroes.
That's favoritism.
Well, it turns out they can't do anything about him because to get rid of the heroes, they can't summon a new shield hero.
Until all of the heroes are dead.
Yes.
Yeah. So they basically acknowledge that they can't just execute this guy or send him home because they need him. So they're like, well,
Yep.
if you save our country by fighting these things will send you home after the fact. So he goes off on his own, and he's real pissed. Like, he turns super bitter, understandably, and like he just fucking hates everybody that is.
He hates everybody in the whole country because they all assume he's like, this girl accuses him. There's no evidence.
There's no investigation at all.
There's
either.
no real
There's
investigation.
just like,
And
oh,
it turns out the reason there's not is that it turns out later, later than you've seen, or Comfy has seen, that there's a good reason why they take her word over his. Flat out.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of are. Like, feel like they've hinted at it. Like in one of the earlier beginnings, there she's in the castle, and you kind of see. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. So anyway,
Yeah,
like he realizes he can't train on his own because he doesn't have the capability to kill things to gain experience points and level up. Because it is very much like gamery, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so they're locked to their class weapons, and because the sword hero gets to use his sword, the spear guy gets to use his spear, the bow guy has to use his bow. He's got a shield.
Okay.
Now,
all he has to do is spec into Deadly Bash like in Skyrim, and you can beat the shit out of people with your shield.
Now,
right?
I played Destiny. I know how Sentinel Titan works.
It's true.
So
Okay.
in this show,
Beta weekend, I got 4 kills in one go. All right, and I didn't throw my shield like a bitch. You can do it.
Yes.
Got to run at him really hard.
Anybody who's used to actual weaponry knows that a shield, which is basically a giant metal disc,
it'll hurt
with an
if you
edge
hit
to
somebody with it.
Not only hurt, you kill people real quick.
Oh, yeah.
It's like hitting them like with a mace. Like it's like, especially if you hit them with the rim of a shield, like you can easily brain somebody. Like it's not a difficult thing. Hell,
Granted, I don't think he really has the physical strength to brain somebody with a shield.
Now his shield is not like the size of a hoplite shield,
it's
like
not
those
huge.
massive things from ancient Greece.
It does all
it's a
kinds of
smaller
cool
shield,
shit, though.
but it obviously hasn't like a hard edge to it. It's basically indestructible. He can easily beat someone to death with that thing, but he doesn't. It doesn't do a lot of damage apparently.
Yeah.
So he ends up getting help after being attacked by a group of thugs from a slave trader. Turns out,
Yes.
in this country, and the world has multiple countries around it. It's just they're in this country because that's where they are summoned to. Slavery is legal. And those that are typically enslaved are monsters and what are called demi-humans. So humans that are mixed with, animals. This is where the raccoon girl comes in.
Oh, sweet little Raftalia, please don't be sad.
And they have their own, interesting things that occur with demi-humans based on them gaining experience and levels and things like that. And there's multiple countries that have demi-humans. There's even a couple that are basically run by demi-humans.
Mm-hmm.
And they have
No Game No Life. I know how it works. Yeah.
And those countries have a much more favorable view of the Shield Hero. It turns out, because the Shield Hero, the last time the heroes were here, was very much a
racist.
Wasn't a racist, and very much was a champion of the demi-humans.
Mm-hmm.
The country he's in, however, is a very religious country that worships what they call the 3 primary heroes, which is the sword, the spear, and the bow. So not only is he dealing with prejudice because he's been, set up by this woman,
Yeah,
and her
like everybody hates
continuing
him.
efforts to destroy him for some weird reason, even though he's literally needed to save the country that they're in.
Like,
there's
he
also
almost
a
had
whole
to, like-
religion that hates him because he's the Shield Hero, and that's the only reason why.
And they heard about the things that he is supposedly that he's been prosecuted for, and like.
Oh no, they hated him. It comes to light that religion would, even if he was like the most upstanding person and the other 3 were like scum, they would have hated him regardless because he's the Shield Hero.
Huh.
It's literally religious intolerance that comes in as well.
Oh.
I mean, like if you were like in the throne room, like before they even introduce, like they are just ignoring him.
Oh
They
shit,
act
that's
like
true.
They act like he does not even exist. Like the 3, the spear, bow, and sword hero introduce themselves, and then Nafumi's about to introduce himself, and the king is like, all right, and moving on. Like, just immediately, just like, I don't care. Not my problem. You're worthless. Fuck you.
Yeah, so there's some interesting things with it, based on a couple of things, and the show takes a few interesting turns. Like there's just recently a new development that came up in the last few episodes that is very interesting because they introduce a couple more characters as you go through. So it's a very, very good show. The animation is great.
Yeah, no, the animation is good. I've heard that the show only gets better as it goes along. So
Yes, the show. Yeah, it's definitely worth sticking with this one. The show gets way better, and it doesn't start off bad. It just starts off.
It's very dark. Like the first episode is
it's
really long too. It's like 45 minutes. It's a long episode.
Yeah,
to, like,
it gives you.
people.
There's a lot of shows that have been starting to do that. I know ReZero does that.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
They give you the first 2 episodes.
Because it's easier to hook someone that way, right?
Yes.
Like then,
Yeah,
rather than
100%.
break up the story, it's easier to make a really good hook, and then pull someone into the show. Unlike the other show we're going to talk about.
Man.
I want to keep.
So,
Well,
really,
yeah,
really
we'll
quick
get to
before
that
we
at some point.
transfer. Recommend across the board. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely a
I
recommend for this
figured-
show.
I figured when we picked it was going to be that. But
I mean,
Interesting
I
story,
really
good
like it.
characters.
And then you also like, as he keeps training with this what was her name? Raptalia?
Raphilia.
Whatever. Anyway.
Raphilia.
Like he ends up being really nice to her and stuff, and he gets her loyalty besides just being, his master, which they get bonded by like magic or some shit. So like,
So
yeah, slave magic.
because she's a
Yeah.
slave, again, slavery legal here. Every slave gets branded with a slave mark. So what that does is it gives the owner the ability to force them to do whatever they want. And if
And
they try to refuse, it causes massive amounts of pain to them.
mhm.
That's debilitating.
Which is how you could like some of the slaves that this dude had that he was trying to sell them to was like a giant fucking really, really strong monster, and it's like, how would I get this thing to listen to me? Well, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because of slave magic, I guess. But
Yeah, he offered him a high level wolfman.
Level 70 something.
He's like, that's too expensive. I'll take this cheap, almost dying girl.
Yeah.
So, which is what he did.
So he ends up like figuring out how to fight with her, where he just distracts everything, and he trains her to kill it while he's got it distracted.
Yeah, he works as,
And
surprise, surprise, the tank by taunting things
Yep.
and tanking damage, and
it works
she's the
really
DPS.
So anyway, you figure out she has a backstory, which is kind of interesting, and she ends up leveling up to level 18. No big deal. So it's cool now. She's not a kid anymore. Just for
Yeah, so surprisingly, to get around the fact that she was literally a kid, and that would cause some issues with some people who,
Yeah. she hit level
wanted to
18 while
wife-
they leveled up. It's fine.
who wanted a waifu, the new character.
Yeah.
They introduced the fact that demi-humans in this world age quicker if they start gaining levels.
I
Man, what a
love
cool
how they're just like.
mechanic.
I love how in several of these shows now, where it's like it's blatantly like, yo, this is like video game related. Like, look, there's just like level ups and like literal character cards in some of them. What was that one? Kind of Konosuba?
Yeah,
Konosuba has
Yeah,
like
they had
a-
literal
character
character
cards.
cards, and I was like, that's hilarious. So
Now,
anyway,
this one they do kind of set it up, the fact that they mentioned that this is kind of based around what they think of as like a video game kind of thing,
right?
and they can access like a party system and menus and things like that by being heroes because of the magic of the shields and the other weapons they have. So,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, it's a thing.
So,
And yeah, so and then in the third episode, the first wave of calamity.
Yes.
Is that what were they calling it? Calamity?
The calamities.
oh,
The first
Yeah.
wave of the calamity shows up. So the first three, the other three weapon heroes, rather than go, So the shield hero, he sees that there's a town nearby where this calamity shows up, and he's like, we're gonna go protect that fucking town. And the other three are like, we're gonna go over there and get all the fucking glory. They're just gonna go.
Well, they went
fight
to go
things.
kill the boss of the wave, right? Because the
Yeah.
wave, the calamity waves don't end. They were told unless the boss is killed.
Wait,
Didn't tell us that.
I don't. Yeah, I didn't.
No,
I don't
that
think so.
didn't happen for us. That they tell us that later on, apparently.
Yeah.
So they find out
They
that-
didn't tell the shield hero that. Okay.
Yeah,
So he doesn't
that the
know.
waves-
Oh, because they know because of the like video game.
they
that
actually
they've
have
all played.
parties and access to information. So,
Gotcha.
he's basically just all that he really knows, because he's cut off from all information, is that the calamities come and they get transported to the site of the calamity, and he sees a village being attacked by monsters, so he goes and helps the village.
Right.
The other three are like,
Okay.
no, we got to go stop the wave. The only way to do that is killing the boss. They go off and do that.
Okay.
In the meantime, he helps the village and tries to get a bunch of soldiers that show up there to help protect the village. And they're like, no, we're not doing that. You're a scumbag.
He does get one of the I guess you could call it like a captain or whatever. He does get a small group of the soldiers to side with him instead.
Yes. Yeah. Eventually, some of the soldiers start to assist him in protecting the village. And you find out more connections there later as well. Stuff comes
Yeah.
up. So
That's where that one ended. Raptalia is now level 22.
Yeah.
And a legal adult.
Legal
Now you
adult.
don't have to feel bad.
So that's this cute raccoon girl. Okay, cool.
yes, and they do start leaning hard into the. She gets a crush on the shield hero.
Okay.
It's probably kind of evident. And they very much lean into the fact that she wants to be with him, and he's just kind of derp. Because he still
Okay.
sees her as a kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because literally, like, a few weeks ago, she was literally like half his size because she was a kid. So that's the way he's viewing her still.
But yeah, her backstory's cool
Yes.
enough. It's interesting enough. Like her family was murdered by.
Her family died in one of the calamities.
Right.
Yes.
And so that is why she's started to help fight him because she wants to fight the calamity so that they don't murder families anymore. But yeah, that's how the third episode ended, where they finished off the first calamity. He was the only one that went to protect actual human lives. The other ones hunted down the boss, which I didn't know that because that wasn't in the first three.
It gets interesting as you go through, and I don't want to spoil stuff for Comfy because I know he's going to continue with it.
I am
but
too.
You get to see,
I'm really liking it.
Um,
This is going to
you
be.
get to see-
Yeah, I'm gonna be watching it.
you get to see more of the actions of the other heroes and the repercussions based upon that. And you get to see more, like the last couple episodes, you get more of Raphelia's background, which is interesting. I think they fleshed that out.
I hear there's some other
I have a
waifus that get
question.
introduced. Okay.
There's another character that gets introduced who joins the party and travels with them. And then a fourth one gets introduced. And it looks like might be a fifth one sometime. Like they introduce another, like in the newer opening, because there's new opening because it's halfway through the season now.
yeah.
They show a character in the opening you haven't met yet, so I figure that person is going to join the party at some point. But
Honestly,
haven't
one of the
met- haven't
reasons
met
I
them
skip
yet.
openings when animes first come out. Because they're most of the time they just spoil it.
Yeah, there's
Kind of
usually
irritating.
spoilers in them.
I
hate
when you get to the
intros.
point like halfway through and you can actually watch it like through the opening and enjoy it, then it's a good feeling.
Yeah, what show was it where I knew there was going to be more characters added before I even? God, I can't remember what it was.
I know Sword Art tells the entire story of Sword Art in the opening.
Oh, okay.
It really
I
does.
know.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Konosuba just shows all four main characters, but they're all introduced by episode 3, and they don't really do anything other than that.
Sure.
Yep.
Maybe that was it. I don't know.
I know.
Like this one's not so bad because they don't really give away the story itself.
They give away one of the plot points that I already knew it.
They do give away the fact that they add more characters, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like showing me that you're going to have more characters in a show that is like 24 episodes long and you've only introduced 2 people. I kind of figured it because no show has two characters where it's that long of a running show.
So I have a question. Does the bow hero, does he become less of a dick because he seems kind of nice, or does he?
Yeah, he
remain-
seems pretty much just like
Um,
whatever.
so two of the heroes become less of dicks, and then
okay.
and
Yeah,
then they take
Spear Hero is
they
gonna
take
be a
slight
motherfucker.
turn and become a little more dickish.
Oh well,
Um,
right.
But that's because of certain actions and then or things that happen, and then they become very questioning, less dickish again afterwards because they see some stuff playing out and they're like, "What the hell?"
Oh okay.
And then the other hero becomes he becomes more and more and more of a dick, and then
Brutally dickish, one might even say.
and then kind of obsessive, like rapey vibes come off him because
I
of one
already
thing.
have those vibes. You're not like really
So-
disguising what character it is.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it
so
gets-
spoilers. Thanks. I'm about it.
It gets weird based on another character that you haven't met yet. Stuff
Yeah.
gets
Gotcha.
weird there. So, things get
So
odd.
yeah, this show I'm going to keep watching it. Like I will probably watch it tomorrow after work for a while.
Oh yeah, because you have
I have the one.
off. Yes.
Yeah, so Mondays I actually get to sit and kind of veg out and do some stuff.
And watch things. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
And it
gonna
was,
be. I'm gonna be watching that.
And yeah, I actually ended up watching the dub on accident too, and that was fine.
Oh, I've only watching the dub. Like that's I like that there's a
Well, that's
dub.
your-
I like that I can take a nap on the couch and watch it. I mean, watch it on the couch. Who naps? But like, no, it's I'm into it. I'm
You
gonna
can lay down and relax. Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't mind watching stuff in Japanese. I'm used to it. So, but I
Yeah.
know a lot of people aren't. So apparently the dub for this is supposed to be good.
It wasn't bad. I was surprised.
Yeah, it doesn't seem bad at all.
And this one is on Crunchyroll, so it makes it a lot easier for people to view,
Mhm.
which is nice.
So yeah, like my Mondays the last couple weeks have been I watched the new One Punch Man, and then like last week this week I'm going to be watching Shield Hero, so that's cool.
Yeah,
I dig it.
This one's definitely worth keeping up. It gets very interesting. The characters get good. You start to learn more about the world, and it just makes you more curious about what the hell.
Mhm.
So that's always a good thing.
And then there was this.
Well,
week's
speaking of shows that
Kitsune.
aren't good at keeping up,
Yeah, let's talk
Man.
about a show that can't hook you.
so I want to preface this. So I actually went online after watching the most recent episode.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I wanted to see what the consensus
The
is.
general consensus was for the show. All right.
So there's two very differing parties, and you'll know exactly which one we
course
sit
there are.
in. So the two parties are, oh my god, it's so wholesome, it's so cute, I love it, and
Not us.
oh my god, this is kind of creepy. Make it stop. There's no story or plot progression. What the fuck is going on?
Right.
That's us.
I think I know
Yeah.
what group I'm in.
I think it's great. Like, I'm jelly as fuck of this guy. He gets like some magic god lady to come and like do all of his chores and shit. Like, please, where's
Tampering,
mine?
yeah.
The tail looks
But,
very soft.
Tail looks very soft. He's way into that tail.
It's
Well,
So yeah,
this-
this
remember,
episode.
this episode, it wasn't the tail.
Sexualize it, and they keep nailing into you. She's 800 years old. This is totally okay.
It's fine. She's not actually 10. It's fucking creepy. But no, in this episode, he literally goes to work and then he comes back and it's just in the apartment again. She like,
Yep.
Hey, what happened last episode?
he came
he was
home
at
from
work.
work.
And then he came home, and
And they were at his
they were
apartment.
just in the one room of the apartment for the whole thing.
Wow, that's impressive. And,
This
you know what? We did get a little more development. We know that his neighbor exists.
Yes.
Oh
so
yeah.
It looks like the neighbor who you get to see twice during that episode. Once she's
Two
in the
whole
street,
times.
and then the other time she's apparently like what, 2 doors down.
I don't know.
That looks like she's going to be the actual romantic interest. It looks like they're probably another fox god's probably going to get involved with her, and they're probably going to try to push them together. That's
yeah.
what I'm predicting. It's kind of obvious.
That'll be like the little white fox girl.
This time we
Yeah.
didn't have anything sexualized about a tail. This
Nope.
It
time
was the ears. He
This time
fingered
it was
her ears. It was
and
awkward.
he put his fingers in her ears. It even has a special scene to show you fingers
In
penetrating,
ears.
and then her having an orgasm basically based on that. So, yeah,
No,
Wholesome.
that's not how I took it. She was like
she
under the
was
blankets and shit. She was like,
No, she was embarrassed by her reaction, but that's 100% what it was.
Oh yeah. It
yeah.
was.
Okay, maybe I just how well versed are you guys in hentai then? Because you might be.
I'm well versed in shows that are of the ichi variety, and that's going right in there. Like,
Oh, no,
Okay.
Listen, I'm with Copper. I know exactly what that reaction was.
Okay.
that's what that reaction shown normally in anime is, and having a scene right before her explosion, where it literally is just black screen with fingers going in like this hole, which is a scene you would normally see of another member in a hentai. It's really obvious of what they are doing.
All right, maybe it's I don't know. Okay.
I think Dale's just a little too wholesome.
Member.
No,
Yeah,
like
thanks for
she
using the
just
word
seemed
member.
like
You're welcome.
okay. All right. Do I need to?
So
Maybe I'll rewatch the scene. I won't.
I have
actually,
an
but-
honest question. So you guys are aware that a lot of anime have after credit scenes, right?
Yes.
Have you seen the after credit scenes for this?
I think I might have actually
All
seen
right,
this one.
now,
What was it? I
I'm
don't
going
remember.
to you're don't watch them. I'm gonna tell you what it is, and you're gonna realize why. So
I did
basically,
watch this. I can't remember what it was though.
at the end of the episode, they do essentially an ASMR
Oh,
where-
no.
where they pamper you.
Oh,
Oh
no.
yeah. Okay. All right. I was
Then-
drunk
and,
after
like,
Jackbox
okay,
last
this
night
is-
when I watched
this
this
is-
episode. Okay.
This is my
so
exact reaction because, like, so I don't remember what I did to last week's. And I don't even remember what it was, but I remember turning it off. This week, it starts and she's like sitting there like on her knees. She's like, "You've been tired. You want to come here and lay your head down on my lap?" And then it goes white, and then you're like laying on her lap, looking up at her. It's like, I'm gonna clean your ears, and I just turned it off. I was like, "No, not today."
because one of the big
Holy
things that she
shit.
did for him this
Not today,
episode,
Satan.
it was like 5 minutes of her like using a Q-tip and cleaning this motherfucker's ears, and it's
And
like,
he's orgasming now.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that
he
was the
seemed
main
way
focus of
too
this
into it.
episode, Chat.
doesn't
The
even
main
make
focus
sense.
of this episode was he comes home from a long day at work, from not having not a lot of sleep, leaving super early, not having breakfast. Comes home, she's like, "I'm gonna pamper you now." You know, he takes a bath because she's cleaned his whole apartment. He's like, "Oh, I never take baths. I always take showers because cleaning the tub is kind of a pain." And when it's just me here, has his favorite, like one of his favorite foods made for him, and he eats that. And then he's like, "I need to clean my ears." She's like, "I'll do it for you." He's like, "That's weird." And she's like, "No, it's not. Come here." So, and then most of the episode focuses on him getting his ears cleaned.
It's really weird. It's really weird. We have to
Man.
do the third.
We have to.
We
We
have
have to
to.
do the third.
We
Yes,
have
we have
to
to do
watch-
the third.
Like we have one more week, guys. One more week, then we can watch Fairy Gone. One more week, and then we can watch Fairy Gone.
Chat, just so you know, we're probably not going to keep up with the show, and it's very
All right,
much
here's
a
the part where the
non-recommend.
third episode boggles our fucking minds and does some really
Listen,
cool
okay,
shit.
If they,
I kind of want to
like,
see
they
how they're
come
going
out
to
swinging.
introduce the other Fox character to the new, like the girl down the hall. I want to see how they're going to
Yeah.
do that. I just don't want to sit through this show to get to that point.
So I want to recommend a show this week for us to watch because it's basically this show but done fucking right.
Oh, is this the?
Yeah,
Okay.
Dragon Maid.
Yes.
That I've talked. So basically,
Oh shit,
premise
we
of
didn't
this
talk
is
about the.
very-
Oh, sorry, we didn't talk about the
ahead.
fact that he went to cuddle in bed with her because that's happening, and he's like he nuzzles up against her. He's like, oh man, she's super flat chested, and then she like puts her tail on his face. He's like, oh, this is way better anyway. It's like, what the
Yeah,
fuck, dude?
yeah. He's
What
100%
the
a furry.
fuck?
oh my god,
100% a furry.
Oh, he's furry as fuck, dude.
Like-
Like
God
those people who are saying this show, oh, it's so wholesome, it's great. They're furries.
Furries,
They're
eh?
perverts.
They're furries. Like that's no kink shaming, but they're furries.
Or lolicons, you know.
Or both.
Why not both?
There's probably both.
And listen, there's nothing wrong with that.
They're just the most vocal ones. It's
It's very clear who
strange
this
show.
show is made for right now.
Yeah, it's a very strange show that's going, look, we're cute and wholesome, and then keeps having these shots that are like reminiscent of porn. It's very weird.
Very reminiscent of.
Maybe
porn,
that's
too.
why I didn't. I don't know. Like, remember when you guys were talking about how she was getting off when he was playing with her tail? I didn't catch that.
Yeah, we haven't introduced
Maybe
you to a
because
lot of Ichi shows
Maybe I don't.
because
we
you
kind of
don't like
strayed
them.
away from that.
That
And
side,
we
that
knew-
doesn't. That didn't. It made me think she was cringing. I don't know. Maybe
No,
I just need
trust
to.
me, it's
Okay, is that what it's accepted in the anime world? Okay, because she's just kind of
this
like
is-
okay.
there's certain facial expressions in anime that are typical of certain emotions. So if you ever see
Okay.
like, it almost looks like a plus sign that's red and pulsing in someone's forehead. That means they're angry.
Gotcha.
Like that's one. If you see like red lines going across their face with a reddish tinge, that means they're blushing and they're
Right.
embarrassed.
Gotcha. I know what bloody noses are. Don't you
Yes.
worry.
Yeah,
I know
the
those
bloody nose is
ones.
another one.
Dick's hard.
And these are things that go across all various anime, right?
Gotcha.
Now her reactions
Yeah.
to what he's doing
Okay.
are also basically trope expressions that are from more Ichi type shows that you haven't seen because you don't like them, and we've been nice and not introduced too many of them to you.
We actually, me and
And
Copper
trust me,
discussed.
we've been
this,
very
like,
nice
we
on
can't
this
do
for
it.
you. There's
We
some
can't-
really weird shit we could throw your way.
I think the fact that I've actually genuinely enjoyed 2 animes in a row, I feel like you guys are overdue to fucking screw me over. So
Yes.
Don't worry.
There is an
Don't
anime.
worry.
There's a. So one of the things that we looked at that we had talked about before, I don't know if it was on the show or if it was us just in private, was looking at. So we've looked at shorts on YouTube, right? The abridged stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
Now, actual studios do put out short animes that are like 5 to 10 minutes long.
Oh yeah.
That
I was
typically
talking
run.
about. I said we
on-
should do Space Patrol Luluco.
Yeah, they typically run on TV between shows. Usually, that's how they run.
Okay.
Because animes aren't always, half an hour, right? There's usually like this 5-minute block. So they fill space kind of stuff, right?
Gotcha.
So a few of them we talked about looking at.
Mhm.
Comfy just mentioned one. There's another one that I thought about looking at that would horrify Dale.
Oh man. Well,
God, I love being
We'll have
horrified.
it be like an intermission
Oh, man.
episode if we don't have a lot of time one week. It'll be perfect.
Let's see. I
I'm
believe
excited,
the name
chat.
of the
It's
show.
gonna
I'm
be
just gonna.
it's gonna be great. I'm
Yeah, here we go.
super stoked.
So the name of the show is called Bikini Warriors.
Oh yeah, we did talk about. I remember
Sold.
talking to you about this at least.
Sold. I'm in. Let's do it.
So I'm going to throw you a link, Dale, and
I'm scared.
I'm just going to throw it here. So if you want to click on that, chat,
We're. If that goes to the website, I think we're going. Don't put those in my chat room.
Oh, I'll get rid of that.
Yeah,
What
that's
website
not a
was it?
website I want anybody to go to. From, yeah,
Yeah, I got rid of it.
I did.
So if you just open that and take a look.
God is dead and we killed him.
Yep, that's yep.
Dale's seen the title card for that.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that exists. So as I said, we've been nice. There is some weird stuff out there.
I'm well
but
aware of that.
the expressions that she's making in the show 100% are from there. It's one of the things that it's so odd and kind of off-putting about the show is that the first episode there is no hook. Like there's no story hook at all in the first episode.
None.
Or really any explanation of what the hell's going on. Which you usually get in a show like this, because it's not the only show where you have like a deity type character come down to help a normal schlub. There's some really famous animes that deal with that. But this one doesn't have any story explanation. It doesn't have some type of hook, and it's a weird mix of like really cute style animation and characters with some things that are very much from the erotic side of anime.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
I feel like this show could be so good if they had an actual plot to it.
Yes, like if there was a like the animation in this show is really good. Like the animation is great in this show. It's very crisp, very clean. It goes at a good pace. There's not a lot of backgrounds to it, so it kind of should. They don't go to a lot of locations, right? So far, you've seen his office, outside at night, the train station, and inside of his apartment. Like that's
And the hallway of the apartment, and
You did get that
and his
one,
kitchen.
like Fox Temple,
that's
but
the
like half
apartment.
the background was white because it was in heaven or some shit.
Yeah. So and most of the
budgeting.
shots there were like super close up on the characters, so they didn't have a lot of background to begin with. So they're not spending time on a lot of backgrounds to this. It's mostly the characters. So the character animation is really good. The voices are fine. Is there a dub for this, Dale?
No.
Yeah.
There's
Wait.
There is?
I don't know.
Wait,
I've only clicked on the link you sent me. I don't fucking know.
I've been looking around. There's not currently a dub that's being simulcast.
So it is new, so a lot of dubs don't come out until later unless they're a simulcast show. And most simulcast shows are ones they're going to take a large bet on because it costs money to do that.
I'm really
They're
sad that
getting
One
things like-
Punch Man isn't a dub because I really liked the dub. Oh well.
It's probably not a dub because a new studio took over.
Yeah, I mean, also original One Punch Man didn't get a dub until like 2 years later.
Right. Yeah, I know.
So-
I originally watched the subtitle and then I was browsing Hulu, and for some reason I noticed that there was a dub for One Punch Man, and then I watched it twice. So.
Yeah, they're
Kitsune is being broadcast by
I hear tippy
Funimation,
taps.
and Funimation is usually the people who do simulcast stuff.
Yeah.
And there's not an English dub on there, so there's definitely not.
So if this gets an official dub, it'll be a little bit more
Creepy.
than likely there'll be a non-official one out sooner. Just that's because the way anime works.
That's the way fans work.
Especially if they don't announce plans to make a dub, one will probably might get made, but it'll probably be kind of awful because it'll be from fans, and they're typically not good if they're fan made.
Yeah,
No,
fans
okay.
suck.
You see, there's a ProZD video about fan dubs, and it's basically like this is what the official dub looks like, and it's like you're my it's like hey, don't say that, you're my friend, I need you to be here, and it's like and fan dub's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then it's like you're my, and then it's like some weird ass word, and then it's like translators know this word means friend, like roughly translated, like just they take it too far, pretty much. I'll link the video to you. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, so fan dubs avoid. Most dubs that come out are not fan dubs. Most subs are fan dubs, are fan made though, just because they're done sooner. And it's a lot easier to translate stuff to text than it is to, do speech and try to match stuff up, because that's a pain in the ass to do, and not a lot of people have the time for that. You have to really love the show to try to do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a weird show. And so far out of the 2 episodes, I cannot recommend the show to anybody.
Dude, I'm with you too. Like
I'm not sure who this show is made for. Like, I'm not sure how this got
you know exactly
greenlit.
who this show is made
Yeah,
for.
I think we all realize.
furry lolicons, but that's not a large group, I don't think.
You underestimate their power. They come out in hordes during the conventions.
Yeah, the furry conventions.
Oh, that
There's a
you-
thing,
you
Chad,
know-
if you didn't know about it.
I've told you about the furry girls in my classes, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Good times. They definitely go to
exist.
those conventions in the middle of summer in Phoenix, Arizona,
Ugh,
where
in
it's
full fursuits.
in
Oh
full
God,
fursuits.
that sounds like
I can smell it
Oh.
from here, and I'm
Yeah.
sick.
Oh.
Like, yeah,
It's not a good scene, really. Well, not a good smelling scene.
no.
It's a very. If you ever have time, chat, and you want to see something that's a little odd to most people, go and look up images for furry fan conventions,
Now,
and try not to be horrified.
This is not to say that you
Like the
shouldn't be part of
disgusted
that
look that Dale
community.
has in his face, for example.
You shouldn't be a part of that community, or we're shaming people for being a part of that community. You can do whatever the hell you want, but some people are just a little too. They don't understand boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone's a little strange, but like some people don't understand boundaries, and that's
Right.
very much the experience I've had with the girls in my classes. They don't understand boundaries with this stuff, and they think that they're a lot more interesting than they are, and they think that that's their entire personality.
I'm
you
a
know.
furry. This makes me interesting. No.
It's like watching The Office as a personality trait. It's not. You know? You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Subs.
But-
Saps, love you.
all right. For the viewers at home who are listening, because you're not a viewer, you're a listener. Fuck. Seth's just said, nobody, nothing. Furry, I'm gonna fuck dressed like a goat. So,
We were reading it in chat, and yeah,
He's not wrong. Yeah,
it's true.
It's-
All right.
it's,
So anyway, we are not digging Kitsune so far.
we are
Wow.
not.
What
yeah, this
have
is a
you
weird one.
guys been up to all this week? And like, what are your plans this week?
I've been, hanging out, watching Dragon Ball Super, because I finished Dragon Ball Z. So
Ooh.
now I'm on Super. Frieza just got resurrected, because
Spoilers.
I mean, there was a movie
Spoilers.
about it.
Spoilers.
The movie was literally called Resurrection F.
Spoilers.
Chad, if you watched Dragon Ball and you weren't aware of this, I don't know what to tell you. Just
That was spoiler
Listen,
for me. I will someday.
Okay, real talk.
Probably
If you
not.
actually watch Super, so again, like I've said, like I don't like watching like openings and stuff because a lot of the times they just
they spoil stuff, yeah.
But so the opening for Dragon Ball Super, the Japanese openings, I want to point this out really quickly because the English opening is like they just bastardize the songs and it makes me sad. They also change up the animation order and it doesn't match
Yeah.
the song at all. It's really weird.
No, I don't know what they're doing with the English openings and some things.
I don't know. The Japanese openings for Dragon Ball Super are top tier though. But so for the Universe Survival Saga, they bait you with the opening, and it's so good. And the reveal when they actually do it is so good because they bait you the entire time. You're like, okay, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen, and then it doesn't happen. You're like, wait, what the fuck? And then they're like, we're gonna do this instead. And you're like, no, there's no way. The opening already says this, and then they change the opening animation after that point.
Cool.
It's so well done. Like,
Nice.
but yeah, like so yeah, Frieza's back. Goku and Vegeta are off planet, so everybody's just kind of like dicking around. Oh, Captain Ginyu returned because
Isn't he the bald one?
Ginyu is the frog after the end of this other saga.
change now.
So Captain Ginyu, his ability, his trump card ability is to take over the body of anybody else. Like he can transfer his spirit to their body and forces their spirit into his current body. And this is something he's used to get stronger and stronger because he just takes a stronger body every time, right? So he tried doing it to Goku, and
Does that mean I'm Ginyu?
what happens with that is that a frog, like a Namekian
So
frog, gets placed in his way, and he takes over the frog's body instead.
He was trying to take over Vegeta while Vegeta was
Yeah.
attacking him, and Goku threw a frog into his way, and so the frog got
Forced to
caught
take
by
over
the
the
change
frog.
beam. So then now the frog was trapped inside Captain Ginyu's body, and Captain Ginyu was trapped inside the frog. The frog got transported to Earth when Dende wished for everybody to be wished off of Namek, except for Goku and Frieza, because he was a part of that. So then there's just this frog with one of the most powerful warriors ever trapped inside of it, hopping around Earth for like 20 years until he just walks in front of this asshole and writes "change now," and the dude reads it out, and then they swap bodies. And then Captain Ginyu returns after like 30 fucking years. It's amazing.
As a frog. 30 years as a frog.
As a frog. It's so good. Oh,
It's kind of funny.
Did I mention that Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball in general has a comedy background? Like that's
Yeah, we talked about this a while ago, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
so that's why this is there. It's weird, it's hilarious, but it's
great.
It's a great little touch.
Yeah,
so he's back.
And then I've been watching that, and we just set up a Minecraft server for Suboptimal.
That's cool.
Set it up. It's super
Suboptimal.co.
modded. Suboptimal.co. Check out all our podcasting content at suboptimal.co. You want to say it louder for the people in the back?
Suboptimal.co.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're
so now that we're done shilling ourselves on our own podcast.
We're terrible.
I mean, the podcast is hosted on the website.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, that's why I'm like, it doesn't matter. But so we set up a Minecraft server that's like super modded, and people have been flocking to it and building stuff, and it's pretty fun.
That's cool.
I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
Because my biggest worry was I'm going to spend $20 on a Minecraft server,
And no one's
And
going to
then-
want it.
and well, everybody's going to be like, "Hey, I want to play on a Minecraft server," and then I buy it, and then everybody just like disappears.
Yeah, that would suck. It's like, can we have a Minecraft server? Okay, here you go, guys. Guys? Yeah, that's not something you would want at all.
But so like, yeah. So I completely lost my train of thought.
I got distracted.
No,
I heard
no.
creaking
Nails the
upstairs.
potato.
Kaylee is getting
Yeah.
out of bed. I hear the creaking of the.
Oh,
Old
Lord,
house.
Lord. Is it that early?
It's like 2 p.m. She went back to bed.
Does that mean I'm getting you?
I mean, it is, the holiday. It's fine.
Yeah.
Happy Easter.
Uh, who said that? I'm banning them in your chat.
Mod, you can't. You can't ban mods.
Happy Easter. Oh my God, we're children. Oh,
listen,
God.
it's
I'm
good
into
fun.
it.
Comfy, can you do me a favor and ban Shark?
I'm gonna ban you. Mod abuse.
All right.
Oh man, what a time to be alive.
So the Minecraft. That's cool.
Yeah.
How many people are in that server? Well, wait, no. How many people can you put in a
Uh,
private server?
So, dude, we have a cap of 60 people at the same time.
Oh, that's. Oh, at the same time, even. Okay, so.
Yeah.
So you can have more
Interesting.
people, just not all playing at the same time.
Yeah. So like we can have as many people as we want, but you just can't have more than 60 on at the same time. And considering that we like the max I've seen is like 10 so far.
Cool.
Because everybody has different time zones and different times that they want
Right,
to be on
yes.
and do stuff. But that's
Gotcha.
like super open. We have the IP out, we have the mod list out, so you can like join in and meme as long as you don't just like break my tower because I'm working really, really hard on making a tower.
Well, now I want to come break your tower. No, I don't
Break
even
the
have
tower.
Minecraft on.
Oh wait,
PC.
so I'm making a like Japanese castle style tower based off of like
You
the
would.
Ashina Castle in Sekiro.
So
Have you
you're
guys?
doing a pagoda?
Yeah, it started as a pagoda, but it became a little more castle-esque because pagodas are more traditional and just like straight up and down. And this one's a little more styled. Have you guys seen the speed run for Sekiro?
I know it's
No.
gotten really short, like considering how long like these
Uh,
things usually start out as.
We got our first sub 25 2 days ago for the speed run.
It's crazy.
And the speedrun strat for it is to literally just swim through the world. You
Huh.
glitch the game to think that you're swimming. Then you just swim. It's amazing.
Already then.
You just fly, essentially. It's hilarious. It's my favorite thing ever. You're just going through walls and breaking the game. It's the world's greatest speed run. Ugh. Dale, what have you been up to this week?
What have I been doing?
Paladins.
I played Paladins yesterday
Smite.
morning. Wasn't really into Paladins. It was okay. Smite was fun. Earlier this week I was playing some Division and Destiny stuff. And a little bit of Smite. Smite's fun. I like Smite. But
I like good devs.
What's exciting is
They have a new game out too.
the
Man,
God of
which
War.
Who did they steal this one from?
Okay, we'll talk about that once Dale's done.
Nobody cares about hearing Rez get bashed right now, I don't think. Anyway, I bought God of War because it's on sale, which is fun. So I'm going to be starting that
really
Tuesday. Yeah, it's going to be a blind run. Hopefully I don't get shit spoiled because I've yet to avoid spoilers somehow. So hopefully, but if I get spoiled, I'll just yell at Copper because he's not being a good enough mod.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'll probably be here.
I'm kidding.
Banning people is no
I'm
problem.
kidding.
As long
I'm
as you
kidding.
set it up so that you can't see stuff we take in a chat, you should probably.
Yeah, no,
be
I will.
okay.
I will set that up. I'll be sure to set that up. So hopefully it'll happen. If it gets spoiled, it's no big deal. I would never actually yell at Copper.
Would you though?
No,
Oh,
I
you
will.
still would. Don't worry about that. It's still gonna be a
But no.
thing.
Spoiler: Kratos is the God of War. Yeah, I played the first
Damn.
one.
Oh, this is from Wargaming. That's right. So yeah, there is a new game out I saw. It's very interesting. It's from Wargaming, who are the people who make things like World of Tanks and stuff like that. So they make a lot of free to play.
Warplanes.
Yeah, that too. So they make a lot of free games. So they came out with a pay for game though, which I've been looking at because it is basically a instance-based MMO-esque Diablo game, which is kind of interesting. So
What's this one called?
Pagan Online, I believe is the name of it.
Okay. I know
So-
Fatal was talking about some game. I don't think that
looks-
was it though.
Looks very interesting though, so I'm curious to see where it goes because I think it's in early access right now because that's just how a lot of games, especially on PC, tend to come out nowadays because
Yeah, it's sad.
there's reasons for it. I get games are expensive to make and this is an easy way.
I get why, but like there's a lot of developers that have the capital that
yes
just
that
do
don't
it anyways.
that don't use the capital properly and yeah. I don't
My
think these guys are one of them though. It looks, however, from what I've seen of the game, there's like a ton of classes, which is cool.
When's it come out?
It's currently out now. Like the
Oh.
early access is out now.
My favorite
Okay.
early access game is Anthem.
Yeah, the full game that'll come out soon.
The only early
Probably.
access game I've bought in God knows how long is somebody's gonna find something and be like, "No, you bought this game." They Are Billions. That's one that I was kind of
Yes.
like. That's such a
'cause
unique game.
Well, that does the whole indie dev studio thing, where they have enough of a product to release it to generate more revenue to help fund the rest of the project, right? And I get why indie studios do that. It makes sense for them because they're small.
That's what
But-
Minecraft was. Minecraft was
Yeah.
the OG early access game.
And then you have other games that are put out in early access by much bigger studios that probably shouldn't
True.
be.
Maybe I should
Anthem.
like research the actual studios when I see early access. Because anytime I see an early access game, it immediately puts me. It automatically puts a couple negative checks in there. Am I going to play this game?
Yeah, sometimes it makes sense because they're a small studio, right? And they need
Sure.
to generate more revenue.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do the whole, trying to get an angel investor or going through capital investment or going through something, like Kickstarter or something like that, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to keep everything, in-house and keep control of stuff because you often lose control of stuff or things balloon out of proportion going those other routes. So it's fine when indie devs do it. They're like a small team trying to put out a product. I get it. But when larger studios do it, it's a little iffish. This one, however, the Wargaming guys and I think it's might be Mad Hat or something like that studios. They're not huge. Like World of Tanks is really big, makes a lot of makes good money and stuff like that. But a lot of their resources are poured back into those games to make more money, which makes sense. So putting out a whole new property is a little more expensive, and it shows they've poured money into this though. Like the game is really good looking. There's a lot already in the game itself. Like there's different zones and stuff like that. You go on. There's a story mode, and as you go through, it unlocks different zones in the map. Which then, when you go into dungeons, it'll pull tile sets and stuff from all the unlocked zones you have to create dungeons and stuff for you, which is nice. There's a bunch of different classes. You can switch between classes if you want. To access different stuff. You get one class for free, and then you have to work through the game to unlock other stuff, which makes sense. None of it's a pay for things. The game itself is a paid game, so you're buying in, but then you can just unlock stuff by playing. So, which is always nice. But it looks really, really, really good.
Ooh. Well, sounds interesting.
So I'm hoping that comes out well.
If I haven't seen anything about it yet, I figure I don't know if I start to see some stuff about it, I might give it a peek. Maybe it's I do like RPGs and stuff, so like hey.
Yeah. I do keep an eye on like MMOs and stuff like that, like stuff that's coming out, because some of them are very interesting. Because some of them have some really cool concepts that get missed because people haven't heard of them because they're not from giant studios.
Gotcha.
Black Desert Online is a legitimately good game. Changed my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I played it. It did.
Actually,
I didn't get into it. It seemed I just didn't want to commit to the investment. I have to like figure everything out. It looked good though. There was a lot going for it.
There's a lot going on in that game, and then when you hit a certain level, more stuff on, and it's like, oh boy.
It is very much a Korean MMO.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And they're very often very, very deep.
Very complicated.
And very complicated. So it just, they're hard to learn because there's a lot you have to kind of go in. You have to dive, head on into those games. They're not something you can dip lightly into and experience everything and have a really super good time. Yeah. So I've been looking at that. Playing Smite because Smite is fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that I decided to pick that up again.
It's a fun game
with buddies.
And
I don't know how much I'll play it. I'm sure I'll play it more in the future. Like after seeing so many people that were like, "Fuck it, I want to play." Like we had a full group playing that shit, and it was a great time.
We had more people than we had space.
Yeah,
actually, because we rotated people out.
Yeah,
and that's not.
How was it? How was it after I left yesterday? Because I got off before you guys did to do date night with Kaylee. We did Jackbox, and it was really fun. How much longer did you guys all play?
We had a couple more games with 4 people, and then 2 guys had to leave, so it was me and Red, and we did a 3v3, a couple 3v3s, and we got our asses handed to us. But there were still people in chat who wanted to play. I think the people who were more competitive, it seems like, are going into 3v3s because they're shorter matches.
Gotcha.
Rather than the non-ranked 5v5.
Sure.
They're probably playing 3v3s and the ranked 5v5 would be my guess. But we got stumped pretty good.
Cool.
In the joust, kind of like we did the other day when we played one.
Yeah,
it was the same thing, right? We just got stomped by people who knew how to synergize their 3 heroes together. So.
Oh yeah, like we just had like they all had really heavy crowd control ults, and then they all just like fucking
would explode us. Yeah, that was what was happening to me and Red, and our third person was an archer, so they were always like super far behind us. So
yeah,
but the game is still fun, for sure. I do prefer the arena and the 5v5 to the jousting, but that's just because we've yet to get to the point where we understand like the synergies between all the different characters and stuff like that. I think once you get a handle on that, the 3v3 would be fine. The game runs great, and there is a lot of interest here, on Mixer for for Smite. Like it has a good following here.
Hi-Rez has a lot of deals with Mixer
Yes.
for a lot of exclusivity stuff.
Mhm.
Not limited to, but mostly containing a lot of their
I
a
see
lot of
people-
Hi-Rez partners stream on Mixer exclusively. They stream a lot of their tournaments on Mixer exclusively.
Yes, they do.
And that is also because Smite is very Xbox and PC heavy.
Yes,
It was
because
a PC
it
game
has.
first, it came to Xbox very shortly after and picked up a very heavy following there because it's the only real MOBA that's
Yes.
on
Xbox.
consoles.
Yeah.
And,
on
and that's due to because it's literally like it's
It's a
it's
third.
it's your
person MOBA.
MOBA but in third person.
Yeah.
With
It's
Which
just
is-
a different viewpoint that allows it to be playable with a controller.
And it plays super well on a controller, be it on console, and which I've played on console. I played on PS4 with it. I play controller on PC with it,
Yeah.
and I was still getting like 19, 20 kills when we were doing 5v5. So
well, yeah, that's not a game where you really have to have like super precise
yeah, it's
aim.
there
or
are skill
anything
shots
like
in the
that.
game of that, but they're generous enough that it's
Yeah,
it's
and all-
not super difficult.
Right.
And even with controllers and stuff, there's a little bit of like aim drift and aim assist. So you're
Like if there
Yeah,
was some
there's a
way
little
for me to play a
system
game
which is
like
great.
League of Legends or Dota with a controller, I would
Mm,
be into trying those, but you can't do it because
Yeah.
I grew up on 20 years of console gaming when League of Legends like you have to click to move your character and then click to aim at the same
I
time.
don't like
I'm like
that.
my
See,
dumb
like,
brain can't do
my
it.
favorite thing. My favorite
Oh,
thing.
that was one of
yesterday-
the things that caught my eye about Paragon. So
I
normally
never
with
tried
Diablo,
Paragon.
it has the or sorry, Pagan Online. So Diablo itself normally has the clicking movement, right?
Yeah, that's why I don't like
Um,
Diablo.
So
On PC.
if you play with a controller, it doesn't have that.
I think I have Diablo 3 on my Xbox or my PS4.
So
No,
I actually
wait,
want to try
shit.
Diablo on a
I
console.
have a disc.
so
I have-
Pagan, they decided that despite it being the same isometric view as Diablo, and that they weren't going to have click to move. So
Let me
you
do it.
actually move with the WASD keys.
Dope.
Ooh.
So your standard normal movement, and the way you aim and hit stuff is with your mouse.
I'm
So
gonna-
you can move independent of aiming and using your attacks, which is very interesting because a lot of people like Dale, they don't particularly like to click the move for some games, right? So
Yeah. All right.
and not always can you use a controller or
Now-
want to.
Comfy sounded like he was gonna make a point about the clickiness.
Oh yeah. So you were saying like yesterday when you were playing, because I was modding chats as a good mod would. You were like, yeah, I don't like League of Legends because of the clickiness, and the only thing I could hear was just like it was while you were saying that. It's just,
You don't. When was I
rapid-
clicking? What? You don't click a
It's
lot
just the
in
clicking
Smite.
from everybody through Discord
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for everybody.
because they
yeah,
were spamming
but, like,
attacks and stuff, you know.
well, yeah. I usually don't. Sometimes you'll hear my keyboard, and
But it was
My
the
mouse knows
clicking of the
something,
mouse,
yeah.
just like rapidly clicking from everybody, and I was like, oh my
Sure.
god, this is hilarious.
yeah,
The
but
timing was just really good.
okay. Yeah,
So,
like
but
I would
you were-
100% play game like Diablo again. I did play through Diablo 3 on my PS4 with Kaylee, and then like she's never been into end gamey stuff, and I just gotta move on to other games. Like she is not a grinder.
Yeah.
Well, that's not everybody is. Like we met. There's that guy you were playing Destiny. Probably like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and the guy was in your chat who's, he's kind of new to the chat. He's like, "Oh, I love Destiny. I played through it 9 times." It's like, what do you mean? And apparently, he
Oh
didn't
yeah, the
like-
one guy who's like, I just like the campaign. He plays the campaign 9 times in a row.
He just
doesn't
plays
do
the campaign.
endgame shit.
He
I'm
doesn't
like,
grind
what
the end game
fuck?
stuff. He doesn't care about it.
What? So
yeah, we
weird.
were
That's
flabbergasted.
so
We've
foreign to
never-
me.
We've never met anybody like that. It was so interesting.
It was
that,
so
and apparently
weird.
there are other people, like he
I
knows
forgot
other
about
people who
that.
are the same as him, right? That they love the campaign, the story. That's what they like playing through, and they just play
But
through
like
that
you
a
just
couple of times.
the
each
end
time.
game is you just play through all that shit again, but you get better shit. And I'm just like, why don't you want the better shit? I don't.
And he didn't
Blew my mind.
Didn't care about the other stuff. Like that's what he enjoyed. He liked playing that, and
Go
we've
more to
never
him.
met that before.
Do it, dude.
So which is great. Like
It was yeah. I do remember this now. It was weird.
So there are other gamers out there that are like that and that. So it's not everybody is going to be in for the grindy end game, even in games that are typically considered to be your grind games, right? Like Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing wrong with that.
Also, that you gotta realize, like, Destiny 2's campaign was aimed at that audience.
Yes. So apparently it did hit its mark with some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem was that, like, there was little to no retention because, believe it or not, that audience is very, very fickle.
Yeah. Well, once those people are done, they're done, right? So you don't typically retain them past the point where they're like, well, I'm done the game. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Well, it's like the Halo campaigns are incredible. And you play through those again and again, except for, like, we don't talk about 4 and 5, but, like, the Halo campaigns made by Bungie are, like, really good. And a lot of people will go back and play it specifically for that. Even though multiplayer is a whole different beast and super fun.
I played one Halo game.
I can't wait for Halo on PC. It's going to be so good.
You ready for my hot prediction? All right?
Do it.
E3 2019 Xbox press conference. Show off Halo Infinite a little bit, show off the Slip Space engine. And I'm sure you guys have heard about Halo coming to PC. We have Halo Reach coming to PC first, available now on the Windows Store and Steam. It's my hot prediction.
Sure.
I think they're going to hot drop Reach at E3.
Probably, yes.
I love it when they just hot drop shit like that. I'm super into it.
But they have to nail it. Like, if stuff is wrong, people are going to be like, you shouldn't have hot dropped this.
Oh, listen,
You can never not have people bitch, though, and that's not a reason to not.
No, you're always going to have people to bitch. That's true. You can't get away from it. It's just kind of the thing you're going to do. But
it's not ready. They should have waited a year. It's ready. They should have released it sooner if it was already ready. Somebody will always be mad.
Yes. So you kind of have to. But the thing is, if you do hot drops, especially nowadays, since we have Apex coming out in the state it did as a hot drop, you have to really nail that shit. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of flack because people are going to go, "How come you're not like Apex? Like they did it right." It's the same way if the next looter shooter we get, which is probably going to be Borderlands 3.
Be good, please be good, please be good, please.
It's going to get direct, harsh comparison to the state of Division 2 at launch, because Division 2 at launch was goddamn great.
Yeah, but Borderlands 3 is also going to be a different beast all on its own, because Borderlands is not going to be like a super
I'll be right back.
End game live game like Division and Dense Destiny. All right, it's going to be a different kind of beast.
Your standard person
won't know that. They won't care.
Doesn't care.
You're right.
So,
they have me sold on Borderlands 3. Like, I'm 100% in because scaling. That's one of the reasons why playing Borderlands 1 and 2 with friends is a pain in the dick.
Yeah, because they don't
Because if you start a playthrough together when you're both level 1 and then your buddy doesn't want to play the next day, and then you're like, well, I either start a new character or play more, and then the next day when your buddy's like, all right, I'm ready to play again, you're like 10 levels ahead of him and you're ruining his fun.
Yep. Yeah.
And now with it being scaled, it's going to make it easy.
The original Borderlands, for those who don't know, do not scale, right? Like, it's your level, whatever is your level, and that's kind of it.
Yep.
And unfortunately, when it comes to enemies, the game engine goes by the highest character level. So you can easily get dicked, like, if you're a lower level, which is, I get it, because it is an older engine at the time. Like, it's older, right? Like, that's kind of the thing. Like, but if they kept with that, it would have been such an issue, because it has been a complaint community.
And like, I'm just looking forward to, like, because I always play these games with Kaylee.
Yes.
And she doesn't play as much as me, so anytime a Borderlands game has come out, I've had 2 characters. Well, this is how we did Borderlands 2.
Play yourself,
one for me when I'm playing by myself, and then one that I swap to when I'm playing with Kaylee. And
Which makes sense, but running 2 characters is a pain in the ass.
Especially like when it comes out, which like I'm gonna start streaming because I didn't stream now, so now it's like I'm gonna start streaming. I'm gonna be playing Borderlands 3, and all of a sudden I'm getting so far in the story, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, now I'm
You gotta go back
restarting the
and
game.
replay stuff. Yeah,
that's gonna be a little awkward. So like, I mean,
Like,
I'll still do
you
that because I'm still going to be playing it with Kaylee, probably.
Yes. Now, the
So
games
like,
are
I'll still be
built
back.
around
I'll still be going
replayability.
backwards and playing with her, but this time it'll be more of like a. I still have the same fucking character, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And if you get good loot, like on
Yeah.
one character that you don't use as much, you're like, this gun is great. I don't play this character very often because I only play it with so and so. They only play like once every 2 weeks. So
Right.
great.
Right. So you'll still be able to make I'll still be able to make progress on my character without having to
Yeah, they
like,
made a
set it to side. That's
I'm
a great
curious
fucking
to
decision.
see-
I'm happy about it.
like what is it? The 21st? So what, in 12 days, I think it is, we get
Yeah. May 1st they're going to
gameplay.
be giving us much more information.
Well, there's been some little bits of tidbits dropped, but we get a gameplay reveal, which is the real killer, right? Like we get to see
Yeah.
what the game looks like
I'm excited.
in actual playing, and not in like pre-rendered scenes. So
Plus, if they
that'll be-
confirm crossplay, I'm going to be very excited.
yeah,
The issue that I might see is if they're like, yo, crossplay is only from Xbox to PC, I'm going to have to buy Kaylee an Xbox.
you're probably gonna have to buy an Xbox. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Because if they're doing crossplay,
Or I'll have to buy it on PS4 and PC, which is it kind of
Like,
defeats
this
the
is-
purpose of
this
being
is something
able to like have
that-
one character the whole time.
we alluded to a little bit when we were talking about high-res games that they have crossplay. It's crossplay
Yeah.
between Xbox and PC. They even have the option to turn it off, which was very interesting. But it's there, right? Because
Yeah.
PS4 and these games are on PS4 doesn't want to play ball.
Right.
Sony doesn't want to play ball with them. So
No.
I expect that Borderlands 3 is going to have crossplay. I think it's only been shown on the Xbox page because that's
Sony
who's going to have
won't.
crossplay. And PlayStation hasn't said boo about it.
They've
on their
got to
pages
cave.
because
They've got to cave sooner or later. I feel like they will.
every bigger game that comes out like this one that has crossplay with PC and PS4 gets left out in the cold, it's just going to go, people are going to be going, okay, well,
It's just gonna, yeah.
my friend's playing PC, but I only have an Xbox and a PlayStation. Well, I'm going to get it for Xbox because I can play with my PC friends then.
Like
And that's
minus
what it's gonna
the
be.
Sony exclusives, Sony is fucking
Yes.
everything up. You can finally change your PSN name after years.
Yeah, I know. Here's the kicker.
So
with
if
that.
you're sick of being
No, no, no,
420
no, no,
Blaze
no,
at
no, don't do
69, you can
Don't
change
do it,
your
Chad.
name
Do
finally.
not change your PS4 name
Why? Why is that?
because it breaks some of your games.
What? Hold
So,
up.
Certain save information is basically linked to your name on PlayStation. And if you alter your name, it fucks with some of your game saves and you can't access them.
Oh, that's not the worst thing. I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, you can't access your games library. Like, wait.
Well, okay, let's think about this.
Can't be right.
If I play Skyrim on PS4, I have
I gotcha.
200 hours in. I now can't play my save. Or if I'm playing Apex on PS4, I can't access my character now, like my account, because my
Gotcha.
name is different. Like
Sure.
it's until they fix that, don't change your name. Like
Yeah, that's a problem. That's an issue.
it's I don't know how that made it past testing.
Right.
Like, yeah, you can't test every game, but because it's going across a large swath of multiple things, I think that's something they should have probably tested for. But that's a way overdue feature. Like that's a feature that every other console allows. Like it's not a difficult thing to do. I mean, some people charge for it because it's a pain in the ass to set up, but at least it's there as an option, right? I mean, I know Blizzard charges for it every time you do it past the first
Yeah.
time, and it's real expensive from them, but that's because it's a pain in the dick for them to deal with.
Pain in the dick. What is going on? My dogs are making noises. Uh-oh. There's
Well, we
no
can't hear
steak
them.
for them to steal. It's fine. No big deal.
I mean, you can't hear like a little clink from a collar or something every once in a while, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I think my dog's sleeping somewhere. it's been like raining here for the last couple of days, and anytime it rains all day, he's just like, "Fuck it, I'm happy the whole day."
I love dogs. Dogs are the best.
He's like, "I'm old, leave me alone."
What did I come back to?
We just started talking about dogs and how cute they are.
But yeah, so there's some interesting stuff coming and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm, I really hope Borderlands 3 is the best thing they can make it be,
I hope
because
so
they
too.
really need to.
I
But
really hope they knock it out of the park.
out of every company that makes, a looter shooter game, these are the guys that basically birthed the genre.
Oh yeah, 100%. They
and
they
they know what
literally
they're doing.
I feel like they did. It was the first one, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't
No?
the first.
Technically, no.
It was the first like proper like, hey, here's 1,000,000 guns and a bunch of loot and
Yes.
a bunch of bosses to go.
Okay.
grind.
So the concepts were around a little beforehand in various things in various ways.
Hmm.
And
It was the
then
first one I
Borderlands-
ever touched. Okay.
Yes, it's the first one most people touched like full on, and it was also the best one to that point. And they just
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
built upon it.
It's so good.
It's part of the reason people were so upset with the pre-sequel,
Well, I mean,
which isn't actually a bad game. Like the pre-sequel is a good game.
also
but you
wasn't
probably
made
only
by Gearbox.
Yeah, wasn't made by Gearbox Direct. It was made
I
by
actually saw somebody on Twitter who was like trying to explain how Gearbox was a bad company, and how they're bad at making games. And listen, to be fair, the only good things they've done have been ports and Borderlands. I won't argue other than that.
well,
Gotcha.
But they've done all of those super well. They did all the PC ports for the original Halo.
yes, yeah.
They did the console ports for the original Half-Lives.
hmm
Wait, those are on
um,
console?
Half-Life and Half-Life, and they made Half-Life spin-off games as well.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
they were
there
on
were-
console.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
reported.
Half-Life 2 and some of the OG Half-Lives have been ported to like OG Xbox.
Huh.
So
I
the
missed
thing with
that.
Gearbox is
Okay.
that they're super great at doing ports. They're super great at stuff to do in-house. That said, they've had a history of subcontracting stuff, which is where you get bad stuff coming from Gearbox, such as Aliens.
Oh, Colonial Marines, man, my favorite game.
So, and it was actually someone found not that long ago, like within a year, I think, or so ago, they were going through the code for Alien Colonial Marines for some reason, and they found an error in the code, a simple typo error, that was the cause for the AI of the aliens not working and being the way it was in the finished game. And when they took out the typo, they worked the same way they did in the demo reel.
Oh my god, that's amazing. That's so funny.
So, for those who aren't aware, the demo reel, when this was shown, it's shown the aliens doing all these things, trying to sneak around people and flank them and stuff like that. The AI looked super crisp and good, so people were super excited. Then the game came out, and they didn't do any of that. They just kind of wandered around aimlessly or just stood in place and stuff. Like, it was obviously broken. And someone finally found like the cause of it. And it was just this typo.
Gearbox, hire me, please.
So, but that game they kind of contracted out, and it caused them some issues. They're also really good at publishing.
Yeah.
And they put out some recent things that they've published, which is great. But they have done other games, like Battleborn is actually a fun game. I know Compy doesn't like the MOBA side of it. He liked the story bit more than the
Yes,
MOBA.
I did really like playing the story of it.
The
That
story
game,
of it is fun. The MOBA game modes I liked as well. There's one in particular I preferred over the other, but I liked the whole game. The problem is that game was not so much the game itself, but how it was marketed. And Gearbox has been known for their interesting marketing choices.
hey, not as bad as Boss Key, am I right?
Mm-hmm. So
Uh,
they're
yeah.
an odd
to be fair,
company,
I did
but
give
I
that MOBA.
trust them to make Borderlands 3 a proper game, because
I
they
do
came
too.
out and said that Borderlands 3 is going to be basically a love letter to fans who've been waiting for this game for years. They're like,
7 years.
yeah, we've like they've heard all of our complaints from the previous
Yeah.
games. They've heard all the things
Yeah,
you
but they
wanted.
can say all they want. That doesn't make
They
it true.
can,
We'll see.
but-
I'm not trying to be like poo-pooing
No.
on the party.
Yeah,
but like,
I know.
I
It's-
want this game to be fantastic. I think it'll probably be quite good. But like,
And no,
everything
I get
is
the
sales
fact that
pitchy.
there's-
Everything is sales
They're going to do
pitchy.
sales pitchy. The thing is, they don't do sales pitchy very well. And so when they do typically say, "Hey, this is this is what it is," it generally is that. And I'm hoping we get proper support for the game, which, given that it's Gearbox, I expect we will. So I expect a lot of DLC. I expect character packs. I expect a couple of extra new hunters down the line. Because that's what we've had in the past, and they kind of
Right.
deliver on that stuff.
Yeah.
The fact that there's so many different variables for weapons in this game is interesting, because they actually used, for the first time ever, a real number in their their advertising. Because normally they just say a bajillion, or they make up a number, so not a thing. This time they used a factual number, which actually holds them legally accountable.
Yeah.
And there
But I mean,
are
Very cool.
a
realistically,
lot of
like,
gun manufacturers in this that are very interesting. So
yeah, there's 8 gun manufacturers, and they all have specific abilities and stuff. Like
Like,
they're
they're
bringing
gonna
back
be
Atlas,
alternate
which will be fun.
Alternate fire modes on a lot of them and stuff. It's cool.
yeah, one of them has that's their
Dahl
thing,
gets
they have
alternate fire.
fire modes, yeah, which is cool, right? Like that's interesting. You've got and you've got another manufacturer where you, instead of reloading the gun, you throw the gun away,
That's TDR. That is
and the
Yeah,
gun
that
walks
existed
off and
too.
shoots.
Happen.
And,
Well,
the
one of
gun
them is
walks
gonna
away
have,
and
like-
shoots at people.
Isn't one of them
Well,
gonna have like
something.
underbarrel attachments? Is that Dahl?
Yes, one of them has underbarrel attachments such
That's
as
gonna be
grenade
cool.
launchers
It's gonna be great.
and tasers and probably flamethrowers and stuff like that. That's insane and new,
I'm a fan.
right? So
It's gonna be great. I'm into it.
and despite the few different sites of quote news coming out and saying, "Oh, this doesn't look exciting. It's just more Borderlands." Yeah, it's more new Borderlands. That's what Borderlands fans want. Like,
Borderlands
they're
is
not asking
fucking
them to-
great.
like, we don't want them to remake the formula. We want more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not. You don't reinvent the fucking wheel.
No,
Like
the wheel works.
these are the same fucking people. They're like, Destiny 2 looks like more Destiny. It's a fucking sequel. Do you not
it's-
understand how sequels work? Are you stupid? Like, please.
I don't get it. A lot of them seem that way. It's like
Like
what are
sometimes things come along and they're like
One
they
second.
completely change the wheel or what have you, reinvent the wheel, change the wheel. Jesus Christ. But a lot of sequels are just like, yo, it's the same thing, hopefully
But a
but better.
sequel. Like, it's like,
That's-
okay.
Yeah.
And that's my response is okay. Sounds good. Like, I'm not mad that this is what that is.
Senor
Like,
Confimus has been rated. Okay.
I'm working on it.
Hey bud. You're good.
So yeah, I'm excited for it. I expect it to be good. I really hope it is.
Me too.
Especially since I bought
I'm very
the super
excited. Like, I
expensive
can't-
version.
You know? I'm excited about it. It's gonna be great.
But
Yeah, I hope it's good.
they
Yeah.
need this to be good as well. That's the other thing. Like, this is the
Right.
if this game is not good, they are screwed as a publisher company. Like,
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So
well, that's the thing. You got to remember this. They don't have, as you said yourself, like as well as Comfy said, they don't have a lot of other properties, right? Like this is
Right.
kind of their cash cow property, and if they screw it up, well, gamers have been burned a couple times, like
Recently.
pretty well recently. So
we're not happy.
especially those people who are into
The genre.
looter shooters.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah,
Or
man.
Fallout.
Hey, Anthem was a great release, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
Destiny was a great. Destiny 2 is a great release. Division was a great release.
actually, Division was a release.
Yeah.
Division 1 was.
Nah. All right. Anyway,
it was fine.
we
It just
could
ran. It
rant.
just ran it had the same Anthem problem. You ran out of stuff to do really quick.
I feel like we've had this. We've gone on about the different
Yes.
shooters.
Yeah, we don't need to
shooters for we don't
go about
we've,
that.
we've
But
opened this can of worms many times. We
that's
need to figure
the-
out.
Like that's the thing they're dealing with, right? They have to make sure this is good because they don't have gamers' goodwill's gone. That's what it comes down to, right?
With a lot of developers, it is gone.
So the
Alright.
last thing they want to do, especially as they are very much an independent studio still, is lose what goodwill they have with gamers, because they will not get it back, because they don't have anything to get it back with. Like
Right.
EA can fuck around all they want with most of their properties because they own FIFA.
They have a lot of properties.
FIFA is the only property they need
Did you
because
see
it
how
makes
much money
the bulk of their
FIFA
money.
makes them?
Yeah, they don't give a shit about
Holy
the rest of their
crap.
properties because FIFA makes them all of their money.
So the CEO is just being a dickwad and being like, everybody has to develop on Frostbite. Sorry.
Yeah, and because he doesn't want to spend money on licensing for other engines.
Hey, you know who the only successful developer under EA's banner is right now?
FIFA? Respawn? Yeah.
Do you
And
know
that's
who
'cause
the
of-
only fucking developer who's not using Frostbite under EA's banner is?
Respawn. That is a oh man, yeah. All right. Anyway,
Now the good news is that
Dots.
the Star Wars game coming out, yay,
Yay.
is not going to be on Frostbite.
It's not on Frostbite. I'm so happy about that. It means I can actually play it.
all right. So Comfy has already talked about earlier, hinting at I think what is this one called? I know what it is because we've kind of talked
Miss
about it.
Oh,
Kobayashi's
yes.
Dragon Maiden.
Yes.
That's it.
So I've heard of this but never seen it as well.
So it is a slice of life comedy. It is it's basically what this show would be if there was actual plot progression and introduction of new characters and like interesting shit. Basically the plot is girl goes out into the woods and gets really, really drunk because she's mad. And ends up finding this dragon with a sword in its neck, removes the sword from the dragon, saving its life. And the dragon is like, you saved my life. I am eternally grateful. What should I do? And she's like, I don't know, come be my maid or some shit. Wakes up the next morning, doesn't remember it. And there's this girl with a dragon tail in her apartment who's like, yo, what's up? I'm your maid. And it's a show about shenanigans, and it's very much about like their wonderment of the new world and all of that stuff. It's really fun. It's very heartwarming. They have a lot of fun and interesting characters. It actually progresses rather quickly. I think by the end of the 3rd episode, you have all of the dragons except one who is met at the end of like the 9th.
Cool.
But
That's a big.
it's a big jump, but like it's honestly the show's fine. It's not a
All right.
negative thing.
So
You have to wait
that's-
that long.
So we're gonna watch next week. Miss
Yeah, we're gonna watch
Kobayashi's
that.
Dragon Maid. Did I actually fucking pronounce that right?
Yes, you did.
I think you did.
Well, fuck me. Look at me
Um,
getting better. That was so much better than last week's, where
Yeah,
I
we
have a
didn't
dope-ass
pronounce
intro
anything
for
right.
it.
I didn't even have the right fucking show last week, so we're making improvements here, guys.
That was I don't even know what you did last week. That was hilarious.
Comp, I have one question though. Is this on Crunchyroll? Do you know?
Yes, this is on Crunchyroll.
Okay, so that makes it
Yay!
easy for
I'm in.
everybody who wants to see
Great.
as well.
It
Easy place to
originally
watch
aired
it.
on Crunchyroll, so
But yeah,
very easy to watch. And all that.
he
fun
pronounced it. He is learning. Yeah,
stuff. He is
it's odd.
learning.
Yes,
I,
our weekly
I
is
actually
coming along.
legitimately made like 2 or 3 Weeb references this week, and chat freaked
did.
out every time. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
They're like,
he's like, wait, was that a
What?
reference? And we're like,
Does
yes.
that mean I'm getting you?
Yeah, all right. So, anybody got any cool plans this week coming up? I'm gonna be doing God of War this week. Comfy. What do you got going on?
I'm moving out of my apartment and driving back to California for the summer.
Oh
that's
yeah,
fun.
your school's
Have-
over.
Have fun.
Yeah. So I have to find a storage unit. Wait 1 second.
Oh, that
This is
sucks.
just for
Good luck.
chat. Tricks are for kids.
He's shaking a box of Tricks
I have a
cereal.
box of tricks because they're for kids.
Dude, I fucking want Tricks cereal.
Wait, really quick. Did I tell you that there was a lady at the fucking grocery store that told me that I shouldn't be having tricks because they're for kids?
Was it like a really old lady?
It was like some middle-aged soccer mom who I wanted to punch her throat.
Be like,
Was
she-
her name
and she-
Karen?
Probably. Probably fucking lame. No, so
tell her
here's
you
what
just
happened.
it sounds like a Karen.
I was at the self-checkout because I didn't want to deal with normal checkout, and I'm like buying college student food. So I'm buying like cheap food, frozen food, and like cereal
Right.
and bagels. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with like somebody just like looking at me and then just judging me. So I'm like, fuck it. So I get in the self-checkout line, and this fucking Karen is right behind me and decides to peek into my shopping cart and goes, "Aren't you a little old to be getting tricks?" And I just turned around and I just stared daggers at her. She's like, "I mean, it's a good cereal. It's not like it's a bad thing. I'm sorry about it." And I was like, "Better fucking watch your mouth. I swear to God." I wanted to say something. I just was too dead tired. Like, because I'm like, I'm sick. I'm dying. I'm pumped full of Dayquil and Sudafed at this point. It's not my problem.
Now, see, the thing I love is that for those who can't see Comfy, because you listen to us on Spotify or whatnot, Comfy is very non-threatening in appearance.
Man.
So I don't have to worry about people like this, Karen, because I have, as the girlfriend calls it, resting bitch face.
Oh,
so I always
same.
look angry.
Same.
Like, constantly.
Kaylee too. We're like
Oh,
perfect because
dude,
nobody ever fucking
was-
talks to us in public. It's great.
Oh no, it's hilarious because
They leave us alone.
I look like this. She looks like she's 16. So
Yeah, you
She
want
wants-
to jewel in the bathroom?
she constantly,
you want to jewel in the bathroom? All right,
Yes.
guys.
yeah, my girlfriend typically, like, she'll get hit on by like high schoolers and stuff like that. It's hilarious. I laugh my ass off at it, and she's not amused when it's on because I'm standing there laughing.
Listen, I thought my "do you want to jewel in the bathroom" joke was pretty damn funny.
I
I chuckled. I chuckled.
but she was like, "What's
she,
that?"
She was like, "What does that mean?" I had to explain to her what jeweling
Oh yeah,
was
yeah.
and why.
What was her exact
why,
word? She's like, "Oh, is that what was that? Was that sexy or something?" You were like, "No, it's vaping." She's like,
No,
"Oh,
It's like, "Is that
God.
sexy?" And he's like, "No, it's vaping." She's like,
It's,
okay."
it's the vape that high schoolers are using in the bathroom. Oh man. Oh man. Also,
Yo, let's
Karen,
go vape in the boys' room. All right.
man, I was talking about that on the stream the other day, and people were bringing up how like people keep getting their bathrooms shut down at their school because fucking idiots are like vaping in the bathrooms at high schools. Kids, if you're under 18 or 21, if that's the legal age in your state, because that's a thing now. Actually, that's about to be like countrywide. But
"Wait,
if
wait,
you're
wait.
under 21,
Do you have to
don't-
be 21 to the vape or smoke in the States?"
No, certain states apparently that's a thing now. I didn't know about
Yeah.
that.
Hawaii, California, Virginia. Somebody in chat's telling me. Like it's not common, really, but it is a thing.
Man, I thought your
Gotcha.
drinking age thing was weird.
Yeah, that's
Trust. Hey, we're not gonna get into politics. I was about to get
yeah.
into politics.
No,
We're not
no
gonna get into
politics.
That's not a. That's
This is
not.
an anime podcast, not a politics podcast.
That's not really a super politics. That's just a weird.
It's
No,
enough,
but that's
though, I
but
don't
like
care.
listen, if you're under the legal age, don't fucking do it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, like
Like-
the amount of trouble you can get in underage is not cool.
And what do you get from it? Lung cancer? Jeez, man. Just go like
Oh, and for those who want to try and say that, well, vaping doesn't, cause lung cancer.
listen,
vaping hasn't existed long enough for them to do the research.
Right.
Vaping is 100%.
People didn't know
not-
smoking caused
It's not good
anything
for
in the
you.
50s.
It's
Yes.
vaping is better for you than cigarettes. Juuling is as bad for you as cigarettes. Fun fact, because nicotine salts are really, really fucking bad for you. Don't.
Fun
Juul,
fact.
kids.
Putting anything into your lungs that's not air is bad
It's
for you.
bad. Holy shit! Thank you. Oh my god.
It doesn't
All
matter
right.
what it is, be it vapor or not. Don't
Yes,
do it. It's
like
All
really
right.
quick. Like I vaped and smoked. I know all of this shit. Like I'm not judging people for it. I'm telling you, just don't be fucking stupid, please. Thank you. We're done. This conversation
All
over.
right.
Watching this Kobayashi's Dragon Maid next week. Where can people
Yes.
find you? Hi, I'm Comfimus. You can find me at mixer.com/Comfimus, Twitter at Comfimus, Instagram at Comfimus, and Snapchat at Comfimus. Maybe I'll update one of those one day. Dale, where can people find you?
Jesus. You can find me at mixer.com/
Great, now he's
Mr. Vengeance.
coughing.
Twitter and Instagram at _Mr. Vengeance. I almost said hashtag. No, it's _Mr. Vengeance. And
You get that as a trending hashtag on Twitter, people?
Hashtag
Hashtag
Mr.
Hashtag
Vengeance.
Mr. Vengeance.
I'd be in.
Hashtag
All right. Anyway,
Mr. Make It
Copper,
Stop.
where can they find you? And also, I really appreciated Comfy's like, fucking. What do you call those people?
Aggressive ending.
The God damn it. Oh God, where you sell things and everybody like puts their hand up when they not a rap.
$5. Can you get $5? $10?
Oh, an auction.
Auction voice. There we go.
Auctioneer.
There
Auction.
you go. Yeah.
Auctioneer Comfimus. All right, Copper. Where do you live on the internet?
You can find me here on Mixer at Copperline. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Copperline Art and Copperline Designs. If you're looking for, any art or whatnot.
He's a good graphics designer.
He
People,
did all
if
my
you need
art
ones.
shit. So if you like my art shit that I have here, look, we got woo.
He's transitioning through all of his scenes.
I'm
Yeah, I know.
transitioning.
I love the sound effects. This is a good time,
Woo.
chat. You're really missing out. Go to Compass.
Transitions. Woo, transitions. Good times.
Alright.
Also, if you're in company's chat and you like using his emotes, I made those too.
Yes.
He made the emotes.
He's working
Like,
on
this
some
is-
branding for me, so I will have mine
let's
tomorrow.
spam the distressed Rowlet
tomorrow.
because it's the best emote.
Yeah, the distress
So
route. That's my
good.
favorite
It's very
emote
good.
on
I'm
on
in.
here.
That entire emote just happened because Copper was like, wait, I can make a distressed Rowlet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were talking about emotes, and I'm like, wait, I can make distress route. Give me a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So next week, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid,
Yes.
episode 3
I
of
hope this one is
Kitsune.
good.
It's gonna be so good. I'm really excited about it. We'll see.
It's
you
going to
next
be
week.
very interesting to compare this one directly to the other show.
Yeah. No, it's
That's
gonna be.
that's
It's gonna be
exactly
interesting.
why I want to watch it right now.
All right.
Like, because you can directly compare the pacing and the characterization and stuff. Because, like, again, like, the Kitsune is kind of just like, let's do this. Okay, I mean, I don't have time, but I want to anyways. Okay, cool. I guess we're doing that. That's all it fucking is for 2 episodes.
Yeah. It.
Dragon Maid, they get combative with each other.
Nice.
Like the main character, like, because the dragon Toru is just constantly trying to like be super super nice, but she like goes over the edge, and then the main character is just constantly like, what the fuck are you doing in my house right now? Are you trying to feed me your tail? Is that real? Are you doing this? Is this what's happening? Fucking stop.
All right. Well, we'll see it,
So-
and then we'll talk about it next week. We'll see you
Yeah, we
guys.
will.
Then have
I'll
good
be
weeks.
happy to start watching, the other show.
Yeah.